Hello everyone and welcome to this video which is all about Gran Turismo 7. We are really building that hype up a little bit here because the countdown really is on. 153 days right now as of filming this to the release date. When you see this, it will be even less. So we are getting closer finally to that Gran Turismo 7 release date and playing a brand new Gran Turismo title, which we all want to do. However, let's talk about stuff in GT Sport here that needs fixing for Gran Turismo 7. As we've seen from the trailers, it looks very much focused around building on GT Sport. However, GT Sport has its problems. I have talked about this in a previous video, but we'll look at that a little bit later on. I'm going to talk about now 7 things that need fixing for Gran Turismo 7. The first up then, we're going to talk about invisibility. Weirdly, in a racing game. So in lobbies, private lobbies in GT Sport, and actually happened in GT6 and GT5, so it's been happening a long time, lobby bugs have existed in terms of network stability. What I mean by this is the fact that some people can't see each other. So what you end up with is a grid start, for example, where people can't move. Their inputs are not registered because their PlayStation is struggling to communicate with everybody else. So they just stand there. It's a bug. It's really annoying. In some situations, you will have lobby splits. So one person will leave on another person's screen, but actually they're still there. And then you have the same person fighting over the same piece of tarmac, and it looks really odd. Really, really, really big issue, in my opinion, in terms of network stability. Just being invisible in a lobby, that really needs fixing. Make it so that there is a check there. There is like a full communication from one PlayStation to the others to make sure that everybody can see each other. If they can't, even do that constantly throughout the lobby. If they can't, then that person is then disconnected or at least removed. That way, at least you can see them. But overall, network stability needs to improve. I don't know whether that's a PSN issue, because obviously we have to go via PSN, or whether that is internal to Gran Turismo. I don't know. But it has been an issue since Gran Turismo 5, and fingers crossed they fix it for Gran Turismo 7. Next up then is an interesting one, which you may or may not have thought about before, and that's starting a race on your own. Why am I talking about this? Well, obviously, we know that FIA competition is going to continue in Gran Turismo 7 because we've seen the icon in the trailers. So we believe it's going to happen anyway. One big problem is that you cannot do a practice race on your own. You have to wait for somebody to join the lobby to start the race, and they can leave instantly after that. And you can still do the race. So why can't I just start the race on my own? It's a really annoying problem to have because I want to test out the race settings. I want to do a practice race, do the X amount of laps I need to do with the right fuel, with the right tyres in an online environment. Because remember, there are different grip levels between offline and online. You can test this with wet weather if you really want to know that. So I want to be online in the online environment testing the race. And I can't do it on my own. It's very, very, very frustrating. Hopefully they can fix that in GT7 because there's no need to have that limitation. As I say, somebody else can join the lobby, you can start the race, they can leave, and you can still do your X amount of laps you need to do in order to practice that race. And on top of all that as well, in terms of spectating, so you may have seen some of the nice full screen cameras that we've got in terms of track roll, track B-roll. You need another person to be able to do this. Why can't I just click spectate and have the same camera vision that you can see in the middle of your screen, full screen? There's no reason not to have that in. Please let us have it in. Please let us be able to start our own race on our own, because there's no need to have that limitation. Seems a bit pointless. Now, in the previous video, I talked about the daily race rewards, and I'm going to talk about them again because it is really, really frustrating. In fact, it's just an annoying, absolute, pointless limitation. Let us sell our daily rewards. I do not want 50 BMW M6 GT3 cars in my garage. So I have to either delete them, which I shouldn't really have to do. I should just be able to sell them at a really discounted rate. So let's say they're 300,000. Let me sell it for 150,000 and allow me then to purchase a car I actually want. Limiting the fact that I can't sell them and I have to then go grind out credits. Very frustrating. Please let us be able to sell any cars in our garage. It doesn't matter. We get one car a day. It's not going to break the game. You know what I mean? There's tons of cars in this game. one car you can't even get and buy it anyway. So, you know, there is still that limitation there. Just please let us sell the daily race rewards and all the other gift cards as well. If we've already bought it, I don't particularly want a second one, and I don't want to have to go through the garage and start deleting cars and going down the list. Delete, delete, delete. I'd rather sell on the fly, buy the cars that I still need to buy in the game, and progress through the game. Now, an interesting and annoying one, the rear view mirror. Please, can we have this in all views? I still do not understand the limitation with the rear view mirror at all. In other games, it is there in every single camera view because we cannot literally look round left and right. We are in a video game. We're looking at one screen most likely in the majority of cases in terms of PlayStation users. Let's just be able to just have a rear view mirror. It will help massively. I can give you a good example of why it's necessary. At a World Tour event in Australia, I was going down towards Forest Elbow and Zutsu went for the move down the inside. If I'd have had a rear view camera, and I argued this with the FIA, the stewards at the time there, if I'd have had a rear view mirror, I would have seen that. I would have seen the move happen and I would have been able to take avoiding action. But he said I didn't see the move happen. I would just turn in, and irrespective of a radar, it's a very intense situation, downhill, braking zone. I didn't see it. He goes for the move. Obviously, I just turn in as normal, not expecting the move to happen. It's a very rare corner to have a move happen. There's a crash there. We end up a little bit in the barrier, lose out massively. Very, very, very annoying situation. And they said it was fine. They said I should have been aware. How can I be aware if I can't see what's behind me? Please put the rear view mirror on every single view. There is no huge advantage to having it other than driving safely and having clean races. And I thought that was the whole aim of the game, really. Let's have clean, fun races. To do that, we need a rear view mirror. And then people can enjoy the camera view that they want to use. Now we get to something which I'm actually quite keen on. And I don't like the fact we have to go to third-party websites to do this. Global leaderboards. Why, oh why, for the FIA competition or time trials, just in general, do we have to literally go to third-party websites to see where we rank in the world? Why can't I go into the FIA round, have a look at the nation's leaderboard, and see Igor Farraga at the top there, the Brazilian, or Miyazono, the Japanese driver, at the top, or whoever it might be in whichever region they're in? Why can't I just see the list of everybody and go, that's where I truly stand in the world? Because I can play with people around the world in private lobbies. The offline game supports the leaderboards across globally, across the world. Why can't I do that with FIA races or daily races and just see them and see the best laps in the world? Why do I have to log out, randomly create a different PSN account for a different region, to log back in to go and see the replay? It seems very pointless. But what you could do as well, in terms of the global leaderboard, add filters. Let us filter how we want. If you are a pad player, you want to see the best pad times in the world. Just let us allow us to just click a button that says pad player and let us see who the top pad players are. Let us filter for local. So if we do want to filter locally, we can see it in the championship. We can filter down to region, our local region. Let us filter down to that in the time trial leaderboards or the practice times. Let us filter down to that point where I could go, oh, look, I've got the fastest lap time in the northwest of England or in England. And then we can go to Europe or, you know what I mean? It's just frustrating. We should be able to have a global leaderboard and be able to filter. There's no reason why I should have to go to a third-party website to see these lap times. And then if I want to actually see the laps, I've then got to make an account in that region to see the laps. Why? It's very pointless. Huge limitation. Let's just change it. And it would be nice if we had more information about a lap as well, personally. I don't care if I get a world rank 1 time, people knowing my brake balance. I will happily say it. Maybe show brake balance on there. Maybe show the torque distribution for when it's rallying or something like that. It allows people who potentially don't know that information to go, okay, that's what the brake balance is. That's what the torque distribution is. I'll give that a try and let's see how I can handle that lap then and see where they can improve. Remember, brake balance is personal choice. However, if you're going in the wrong direction quite substantially, it can affect your gameplay experience. You want a fun and exciting and good experience, not one where it's frustrating and then you don't really want to play again. So it would be nice if we could have more information about a lap as well on those leaderboards. Just press X. Let's have a gander at some of the settings. Now, back to racing. Rolling starts on tracks where you start on a corner. Now, I'm thinking Spa, because Spa is the next daily race for Group B, is horrendous. Why do we have a rolling start at Spa? I do not know. Because if, and it's daily race B next week, so it's 3 laps only, you start in P4, P5 backwards, you cannot win the race. It is impossible. Everything stays status quo. It is impossible to catch up. You could be half a second quicker. You will not catch up. And the reason being, starting on a corner is such a disadvantage. Such a disadvantage that I don't really want to enter Daily Race B at all. And that's because I could be the lead car, I could have a good time, or I could get put in a lobby where I'm starting P5, P6, and I'm just like, that's my race over before it's even started. Sort it out. If there's a rolling start and you want a rolling start at Spa, make it closer. Put it at the different start-finish line. Put it after Lazarus. Put people a little bit closer. That solves that problem. Le Mans, just move it further ahead so more people can start on the straight and get the rolling start closer. It is very frustrating to start on a corner and lose the slipstream instantly and know you're never really going to catch up or never going to be able to have a decent race or even with the chance of victory. Finally then, we get back to online lobbies because there's a lot of issues with online lobbies. Is it me or are they missing a lot of options? To give you an example, one-make races. We can do one-make races in the practice races offline. However, we can't set one-make online. And I have no idea why we can't do this. There should be a way to do this. You just say one-make, select the car, and then everybody picks that car. Why do we then have to go through and make sure people are in the right cars for that race? It's very frustrating. And this feature it's been in the game in the past, in GT6. Why has it suddenly been taken out? Put it back in. Let us be able to use it. Penalty zones. Why oh why can we not have the FIA lines, for example? I know they're in the options. So for those that don't know, there is a secret menu for creating lobbies. There is a full menu and there's a lot of details in there you can change. Why oh why can we not have access to some of those options? Having those penalty zones is actually really nice, to be honest. I would quite like them in Miatamania, for example, so that people have to take that penalty and it forces some form of rule rather than taking it in the corner where people can just take it back. Speaking of in corners and taking penalties, can we please just have the ability to turn off ghosting? If I want ghosting fully off and I say no ghost cars, I mean no ghost cars in all environments. I want it as realistic as possible. I don't want people turning invisible, even though I've said turn it off. So please give us these options in lobbies. Lots of missing lobby options there, and a lot of this stuff you can set offline. Why you can't set it online, I do not know. When we know there is a secret menu in the background, I've seen it. Other people have actually shown it in videos. Maybe I've even got the video on in the background. So thank you to whoever videos that is. I will obviously put the source there. But yeah, give us those missing lobby options. Give us the fantastic experience we want for Gran Turismo 7. Now, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a bonus bug as well. So I know there were 7 official bugs. One bug you may not be aware of that's in the game, and it's been in GT Sport from day one, is that if you bought any of the special edition Gran Turismos, I have, you get some special edition cars or cars to start you off with your career. You have never been able to access these in Europe. I have no idea why they haven't fixed this. They've never fixed this, but it's a big concern because I have bought the 25th anniversary for Gran Turismo 7. Whether I will be able to access their special cars. Will they be bugged? I don't know, but it's been a big annoyance to have those big exclamation marks above these cars, knowing that I can never access them and they're just there, sitting there. Bit frustrating. Make sure that doesn't happen for Gran Turismo 7. And that is going to be it in terms of this video then. That's 7 things I would like to see fixed, solved for Gran Turismo 7. It's based on GT Sport, as we've seen from the trailers, or at least seems so. Let's hope that a large portion of these are fixed. I did mention there is a previous video I've done, top 5 quick fixes for Gran Turismo Sport. Do check that out. Some more additional fixes in there that do need fixing for GT7 as well. There's another video if you want to check that out. My logo's there if you want to subscribe. Please do like it. As always, it helps me out a lot and it costs you nothing. I hope to see you in another video or live stream very soon.